Hey, what's up? Josh here, and pretty excited to getting close to releasing my first After Effects tool. A long-time After Effects user, long-time visual effects artist, compositor, 3D artist, Nuke user as well. And one thing that's kind of always bothered me about After Effects was the lack of a native edge blur function. So there's multiple ways to kind of build that manually, and that's what I do when I'm using After Effects. But that's tedious and kind of time consuming. So I made a pretty helpful workflow script that I'll probably release here pretty soon. Just doing a little more testing on it. I think it's pretty exciting. So let's take a look. So here's just a keyed layer, right? And you can see the edge just naturally from this key is a little bit blurred in some areas, but maybe we want some more edge blur. So let's take a look how we can do that. Here's my little script here. Comp Buddy is what I call it. Hopefully I'm gonna work on a couple of different tools. This is just the first one, but as you can see here, it's edge blur. Is what I've created here. So these sliders down here, really the point of those is you can just kind of adjust the settings before you run the script here. So I'll just put some settings in here, but you can always adjust them later actually in the effect controls. But let's go ahead and click edge blur. Maybe I'll just adjust the edge width. There we go. So click edge blur, let it do its thing. So you can see it did a lot of work already for me down here, which is great. And then if I zoom in and get a little bit closer look at the edge here, you can see what's happening. When I ran the script, I had the blur set to 6, so you can see it's reflected there. So let's turn on and off this adjustment layer and then pay attention to the edge. And you can see I now have a pretty nice edge blur happening, which is pretty sweet. It's fast and just using native tools in After Effects. And then of course I can dial in, maybe that's too much, something more subtle. 3 might be kind of hard to see on the screen, but you can still kind of see it right through the hair there. Obviously you can go something extreme just to show it. It's too much, obviously, but you get the idea of how that's working. Pretty nice. And then, there's a edge width control as well that I set beforehand, but that's working pretty good there. So let's take a look at another example utilizing this. Now, of course, edge blur is also super helpful when you're compositing and working with CG renders, right? 3D renders, because obviously from a 3D program, unless you're rendering with depth of field, and even if you are, depending on the shot, if you're just rendering it separately, you're still going to have some hard edges, right, from the computer. So we want to be able to blur those edges. So let's take a look at this CG render here, this little clay rat that I made. And let's try it on that. So hit the button. There we go. And again, I had it set to 6. You can see that reflected there. Zoom in a little bit. It's 400%, but you get the idea. You can see now we have a little edge blur going around everything. And maybe I could bring that down to like 4 pixels, a little more subtle. There we go. That's pretty cool. Zoom in over here, take a look, see what's happening. Of course, we're zoomed in 400% there, 200%. Can still see it. So you can even, maybe bring that down to like 2.5 pixels. And there we go. Pretty nice. So just one of those tools that makes life a little bit easier when working with After Effects, since we don't have a native edge blur. Hopefully you enjoyed that little preview.